The series is a one-off series. Karl Anthony Towns. This was once considered a defensive standard. The attackers only knew that the Tiger was outside the three-point line. The same time, the spiritual characteristics are weak. The first time was by Cousins, a Kentucky resident. The first time I saw a man in the street. The first is the summer of 2024. After studying in Minnesota, she moved to New York. The situation is changing. The first race. He was elected to the National Fresh Air. This is the first time this has happened. He was even more out of control after the match. The game is a great way to get to the stage. The story of the first day of the war in Afghanistan. Buddhist showers are being slandered. He played 2 consecutive games. The opposition in San Antonio is crushed. The team is the first team to win the World Cup. I'm not saying that. If this situation continues, the government will be able to take action. Towns will even become FMVP. The first time the city has been able to get a ticket to the tournament, it's been a long time. How many outbreaks are there? How we got on the team? The bamboo is covered. Today, let's talk about this. The hard sugar is completely dragged in the trash. In fact, look at the data. Towns are not particularly good. Towns took the lead with 18.12 left in the fourth quarter. Game 2 is only 21 plus 13 plus 4. The game is now available in the US and the game is now available in the US. The people of the country are being bullied. The video also showed 29 points. The data from the 4 wins of the 9th parallel, the real hit rate is close to 6%. It seems like the flood is coming, but I actually watched the game. The first is that we have to find out. The truth is not so. Just watch these 2 matches. The Towns' performance. The New York Times reported that the number of people in the city was about, maybe I'm already fat after Flora. The world is too much. The first is the battle of the sexes. Towns are destroyed. The man who defended the logic of Mars. Mass has been unable to hold him for 2 consecutive times. The first reason for losing the ball is actually, what is the next step? We'll break it down in detail. What is known about that? This track will make it to the final. The military is a very powerful force in the country. The team's top 5 teams. No, 4 in the traditional sense. In addition to being bullied, the best man in body and fighting. This is a very interesting story. This is why we are here. The logic behind their defenses. The report also highlights the importance of the country's economic development. The first is to use footsteps to track down the opponent. The first is that the internet is not the only way to get a message across. The first is the greatest day of the world. The first is that we are not allowed to be the same person. He has to be able to keep his breast clean. Keeping the blue. The logic has a very obvious weakness. This is the first time. If we were to be forced to resist outside the line, the blue cover of Mars is wide. What should we do? Almost 3 rounds before the race, Mass did not me. The first is that the government is not going to be able to keep the people out of the house. The final was a huge success. We have seen this. The whole thing is going to be a big deal. The defense logic and defense thinking of almost the game. The town was devastated by the destruction of the towns. Attacks on several towns. It is possible. It's worth a little space. The first is the third. We have been repressed and not disturbed. The price is high. The first is that we are not going to be able to do anything about it. The city is a great place to visit. The attack is complete. I want to give it to you. Towns is considering removing the wireless patch. We are the only ones who can stop the violence. This is why we are being bullied. The city is also a major supporter of the peace process. But this is how it is. The problem is that blue is the problem. This is a ball. Towns hold the ball in the top spot. We have suppressed 1/3 of the deaths of the accused. The bridge in the heart. The first time we saw the Tiger, we were in the middle of a fight. The blue is the color of the sky. Called faced 198 cm. The first is to use the high strengths to get in. This is a very important question. We are not allowed to change the position. Let others visit towns. Do you have a Tiger box in your head? If you face other teams, it is possible. But Nick is the only one who doesn't. One of the reasons is that this team, almost 1/3 of the race, nearly 4 floors. It's almost unbelievable. There is no point in putting it. In theory, heart can also be a little bit more than that. But this ball, the first is that the government is not going to take action. The shoes are a little off the blue side. The city has been punished by the towns. Towns saw no bullying around them. Leaked in blue. The defense against him was theoretically, horse's body is hardest. The best Casso to fight, but he doesn't live in towns at all. The last one was hard pressed to get to the position. The 2 reasons are, If you change someone else to protect yourself, Towns delayed the team's ranking. It's also very easy. This is a good example. Towns and Bronson are against the party guest. I found Casso. Towns talks directly about breakthroughs. The first time I saw the video, I was in the middle of a conversation with a young girl. The first is that the government is not going to be able to keep up with the demands of the people. Towns can even be a place where people don't have to choose who they are. The first is the blues. For example, Cornet. The first time I saw him, I was in a very bad mood. The first step is to get rid of the virus. This is around. Towns is even in the blue. The same time, the attackers were killed in a plane crash. What a controlling force this is. As long as Towns are there, the defense against the crackdown, some of the problems with going back. The upper wheel series is, the war is over and the war is over. The first is to monitor the bottom corner of the building. The first time the city was hit by a car was in the middle of the night. Because Towns is not like Cass, his projection was accurate and fast. The crater is still powerful. The first is that of that. The government has been trying to force the government to stop the violence. The government has also been a victim of corruption. This is a roundup. The city is a popular destination for tourists and tourists alike. Towns is easy to move. The video was shot in the background. Second attack on the city. This is the performance of the Towns offensive. Game 2 is coming later this year. Towns after the 11th time double tempo data. The final scene of his final. The number of people who have been killed is 19.5, 12.5 blue boards, 4.0 is attacking. The death rate for all three victims was 15.6%. The number of people who are affected by the virus is 4.9%. Nearly 200 music videos. It is very effective. What is the meaning of this? The city is also a major tourist destination. The government has been positive 239 to date. The story is about a young boy who is a teenager. The number of people who have been killed in the last few days is 244. We're going to talk about defense again. Towns' defense this season. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my life. He asked me to not slander him. Defending performance of Cat in a room. The first is the hardest time campaign. I'm not sure what the best way is. This is especially true in Game 1. We were only 11.2 when we were bullying Towns. The death rate is 18.2. The report also shows that the number of people who have been infected by the virus is about 15. Game 2 we've been blaming Towns for the bad effects. The rate of jump is low. I'm not sure. Nick's windshield defense helped the source. The Towns current calamity is also working its way up. This time, CB wants to hit Towns. The Towns main camp is the town of Towns. Herper was replaced with Herper. Herper is the first to use the party to strike Towns. But he underestimated Towns' ability to prevent harm. He wants to get his hands on the game while fighting a little space. The city is directly divided into towns. The NBA has been a huge success. The first time I've ever played a game, I've been playing more than 1,200 G for 31 years. Only 3 players who sent over 800 G coverage at the same time. The city is a small town. The other 2 are KD and LBJ. The next big thing is the Towns blue board. His pure blue board ability only ranks in the top 3 in Nick's pair. In fact, it's likely to be third. The number of people who are in the crowd is still low. In 2 finals, he and his team reached the 25G blue board. The maximum is 2 pairs. The first is that the 7G attack on the blue board is a big exaggeration. This is the final version of the Town of Lake Space. I'm not a big fan of the game. The game is a great game for the fans. The first is the hard side. Can you limit the pressure of the bowl? I have a question. Towns is the strongest hit in the last game of the year. This is the town. How should mass be restricted? I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to do this. The only thing to insist on is that the next contest. The first thing that mass can't do is let the pumpkin go online to defend Towns. The first is that the user needs to be able to use the Casso or DV. The first is that the government is not going to be able to do anything. We have to keep the horses under pressure and use the bottom-footed box to prevent them from falling. The first is that the average person is not a good person. The city is also known for its beautiful landscapes. We've already said this in the opposite direction of Towns. We're going back to talk about Game 2 today. The results are: the team score is 1 point. The process of detecting the fine particles is very difficult to see. The first part is not complete. The last moments of Moji. The first is the ball of the moon. Most of the time, the story is about the Nick is more patient. The team is more capable of controlling the pace. I'm going to tell my community. The first is that the government is not going to take the blame for the violence. The resulting leakage is 3%. Protecting the blue board is adverse. The second attack was a 3-point attack. The team's morale was badly damaged. What is more exaggerated is that the team's ability to turn the ball around and handle the ball is excellent. This will ensure that they are not reinvented every round. The first time I saw a video of a woman in a car, I was in a car. If you want to get in, you're going to be a bit of a mess. I'm not going to see you. The first time I saw the video was in the early hours of the morning. It was just a death ball mistake. The first is that the military has not been able to stop the attack. If the match ends after the third leg, the match will be played in a single match. I'm going to be a little bit more careful. The first time I saw a video of a woman in a car was in the back of my head. The result is inevitable. I was lucky. Mass followed the score in emoji. The last half of the game was a magical 4-0 draw. The first time I saw the video was in the video and I was surprised to see the video. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. The results of these rounds are: this is a personal skill. Fox's Flashy Fox is among them. Hopper's Powerful Push for Change. Hardware for DV. The first is the Game of Thrones and the second is the Game of Thrones. The light flashes. The first time the police officers were seen in the area, they were able to find out what happened. We also need to acknowledge. The report also highlights the importance of the EU's efforts to reduce poverty. More mature systems. The team that has a more team-like basketball feel. What is the meaning of this? The wave of mass attacks. The first is that the government has not yet won the election. After 102 to 104, Bronson is a big fan. The first is the crossroads of the country. The ratio of the movements to the flat. The first is that the people are not allowed to play. The error of the passing ball. And the last one. The event was held in the town of Khartoum. I think it was in Hilo. This is a quick pass. The stupidity behind the back of Casso. The last time I saw a knife was in 2006. I'm not sure what I'm going to do. After the ball, the man was given the ball. He is a member of the National Assembly of Nigeria. This is the whole team's problem. The video was shot on the internet and was directed by Fox. I'm here to help you. Fox is warming up. The results of the survey were published in the journal Nature. I'm not sure. Even the best of the best in the whole team. So after this football, the first is that the government is not going to stop it. The report was published in the journal The Guardian. Or the phrase, it's not bad at 29 plus 9 plus 4. The attackers were not able to reach the border. It's always been a threat to the ball that is greater than the ball. The most reliable way to divide is by succession. The power is not available. 24 plan. And by food. The first is that the government is not going to be able to keep up with the demands of the people. The first is the United Nations. The number of people who are angry. It is a big KD. The KD's shooting speed and comprehensive offensive skills. It's not easy to be stronger than you are. This is a very important topic for the group. The technology of the 3 series of opposite towns. The face of the ball technology. The first is the ability to respond to the high-level side. The government has been trying to get rid of the corruption. The data is based on the series so far. Towns face off against the end codes. The average score for each round is 31.0. The other side. End codes face down to towns. The average score for each round is 23.65. The Phantoms. As long as towns are there, it can achieve the suppression of end codes. The government has also been trying to stop the use of bullying. It is also the same as suppression. The whole team of horses. So, what is the meaning of this? We are back in towns. If the series ends here, it is most likely to get F and BP. This is the view of Barkley. I believe that many fans are also saying that this is a good idea. The report also highlights the importance of the new policy. Towns is totally on board. The music is a bit of a shock. This is the first time that the horse has been behind Kodesh 2 in the final. They have lost 6 times in the final. 5 times they hid. The only time the complaint was filed. He also refused 3 matches. We are going to discuss this now. How to avoid being early on horses. This is a windy place. The turning point is now. In the history of the NBA Finals, the team never played in the home. The first is 0-2. Finally, they are hiding. 26 horses are the third team. The 2 teams were previously the Magic of 95 years of wiping out. The first is the first in a series of 3 films. The sun is still shining in the Yellow City after the winds hit. The story is historical. The horse has already been sentenced to death. This is the price of youth. Young people need to pay for schooling. I hope the tuition fees for both of them. The first thing that I'm going to do is to wake up the horse. The young people are also good at it. This is a very important point. The first is that the people of the country are not allowed to vote. The first is the first. The story is a story. There are no cases of a 1 on 3 double-digit number. But history has always been created by humans. What is the meaning of this? I'm here to help you. It's not just about the game. Supporting San Antonio and your horse.